Around the latter part of the 2000s, Adult Swim said that they were going to bring back their old stuff and play old bumpers, such as the All Kids Off the Pool ones, as a little special throwback thing. Interesting considering that when you think about it in hindsight, the network wasn't even that old then. But they aired it for a Sunday night, and the way they were initially advertising it made it sound like it was only going to be one Sunday night, but it kept on going on afterwards, and every Sunday for what felt like a while would start out with this classic revival thing. And despite going on for a long time, it seems like nobody talks about this, or at least nobody remembers it or something. And it even seems totally forgotten by the network itself too. And there's even really weird vibes when it was happening, because it feels like that it went on for way longer than it was initially supposed to. Like, the network just almost forgot that they were, like, airing it. And just the way they were talking about it, too, like, bringing back the good old stuff, it almost had this, like, sinister vibe to it after a while. And it feels like that they even forgot to just play it sometimes. If I'm remembering right, I'm probably just remembering wrong. But eventually they just silently stopped doing it, and it was really weird. And I remember after a while, they're just like, really, they're still doing this? And then it just stopped one night, and I wasn't even thinking about it. And I didn't even think about it since I, like, started doing this Iceberg. Like, it just completely left my mind until I was thinking of entries to do. But yeah, just this, like, I know I sound weird talking about this, but, like, it just had this kind of, like, almost negative tone to it as they're airing it. And, like, it's just more nonsensical the more you think about it, like, how they made it sound like it was a one special when the network wasn't even that old at the time. It almost had kind of, like, angry vibes to it. It went on way longer than it was supposed to, and, like, nothing was ever said about it. Then it just stopped, and nobody talks about it now, it's just forgotten. And they've never really done anything else like this since, even though the network's much older now. I talked about April Fools at the very beginning of the series, but something I didn't mention was the lost footage of it. You see, a lot of it, mainly the older ones, particularly the first one in 2004, but then oddly the 2013 one, which is like after the internet became as mainstream as it is today. It's just completely missing stuff, and it seems to be completely lost footage entirely. I know this may seem like a dumb plugin, but it's not. It's totally relevant to this, and just to save time, I'll let you know that I made a video before the series that goes over all of this already. You can just easily find it under the channel. It's not that old. It's from some months ago. So I just highly recommend checking that out for more info. But yeah, it's just kind of sad that there seems to be, like, no footage of a lot of things from their April Fool's pranks, especially of how cool they were. And it's just something that people don't really discuss that often either. And likewise, the Dawn is Your Enemy is another thing that I mentioned at the very beginning of this video. Or not this video, the series. And I mentioned just the normal bumper itself. It's very well known. However, there's actually a lot of myths and fan-created stuff and creepypastas surrounding this. And the most famous myth I want to talk about is that the sun in the bumper winks. Apparently it doesn't actually do that, but a lot have claimed to see it happen. And some have made this happen when you look at the quote-unquote full bumper video of it. It gets really dark and really cool of just how into some people are of this bumper, and some of the stuff that they do and talk about it to exaggerate how much it unnerved them back in the day. And I can't really blame them, to be fair. And there's also some really cool, awesome fan-made ones that deserve some more attention. They're pretty popular, but they're also really dark and cool, and it'd be cool if more people known about them. To the point where people have even used them in other videos, sort of like the series, as if it's real, and I've even done that before in my personalized video. No, that was totally real, don't listen to me. But yeah, they're so well made over this bumper that they look real, and it seems like a lot of people even believe that they're still real. And I'm specifically thinking of like the Dynasty of Defamer and stuff. It's all really great shit, and I suggest checking those out. This relates to a lot of stuff that's already been talking about, especially in the last layer actually, and it has to do with getting melachonic feelings from watching Adult Swim. When thinking about the feelings you get from watching the network, isn't the first thing to come to mind usually just like really like calming and relaxing? Not like take a load off relaxing, but just like soothing in a way. And like again, if like memories of watching it as a kid like aren't some of like your most like chill memories just from like watching this channel in the dark, like on your bed or something. Like a lot of people just like associate this channel with that really chill vibe, and they nail it super hard with their bumpers despite all of the shows usually being really wacky and crazy and stupid and insane. And like again, with what I said with All Times in Music Eastern, how like it's so simple but it manages to create such like a powerful aura. It's just really interesting to think about, and it's almost phenomenal in a way that they're able to create this kind of atmosphere like that. Metalocalypse and Rugrats are the same show, yes. And I'm not just talking about the band member being named Pickles, that's just a coincidence. What I'm really talking about is both shows involve a group of complete idiots who have no real understanding of the world around them, and most of their problems usually come from these misunderstandings or just stupid stuff they create on their own or thought up of on their own. And they cause a bunch of destruction obliviously with what they do, and usually have these dumb happy grins and laugh at the stupidest things. And the people who are supposed to watch over them usually completely fail to do so, and are pretty much oblivious to what they're doing too. Like, their manager at least tries a bit harder than the Rugrats' parents, but like, I mean, still, he doesn't ultimately stop them from hurting stuff in the end. But yeah, it's just really funny to compare how both shows kind of like do jokes and humor in the same way, and have like the same style of writing, and have this assembled cast of morons. I mean, it's pretty hilarious once you realize it. And that's all that does it for this layer. Next up is the final one. See you all then.